Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, we've got the Goggles 3, flying those now. Got the DJI O4 Pro air unit. And so, I had to get a frame that was meant for this system that primarily got the props and the frame out of view. I started with an old Hyperlight frame just to kind of try out the system while I figured out what frame I wanted, and I ended up getting an AOS V5 or an AOS 5 V5. I thought maybe I would want like a dead cat because that just seemed like the most obvious choice. And I'm surprised that Chris hasn't put a video out about this, but the AOS 5 V5 kind of ticks all the boxes without being a dead cat. It's still an X frame or like a squished X frame. Because what I wanted was something that was like my old newbie drone Vivid, where it just kind of keeps X frame geometry but pushes the camera out, and this is what this frame does. So if we look at it, it's just, it looks a little weird because it's got a pretty long body, but it just gets the camera out in front of the props. And it's nicely protected with that aluminum cage. And then you just have to get the O4 adapters printed, or you can print them yourself. I just ordered these from Brain 3D. It's like the O4 adapter kit. And it's just kind of sandwiches the camera in there nicely with the TPU. And it's just right now it's just a compression fit. It's pretty tight, but you can move it. And then if you want to lock it in place, there's some screw holes on the side. This is my first AOS frame because AOS, they kind of got popular once I had mostly stopped flying, so I never got a chance to try one of their frames. And I'm actually pretty impressed from a tuning standpoint. And I'm sure this is common knowledge by this point, but the arms, they connect on the sides. They don't crisscross like a lot of frames. They meet on the sides and connect there. And so if you look through, let's see if I can get a good shot of this. So if you look through the bottom, you can see all the way through the bottom plate because the arms aren't touching. And so what that does is it allows the flight controller to be basically isolated from the arms. So, the prop and motor vibrations aren't getting transmitted directly into your stack standoffs. It's pretty neat design, and so far it seems to work because as soon as I transferred these electronics into this frame, I was already able to lower the filtering because this frame has less resonance. And I got lucky with the weather, and so I've been able to fly a few packs today and start working on the tune, and it flies amazing. Yeah, so far I'm pretty happy with it. The arms are nice and thick, so it should be durable. I don't know all the dimensions, the specs off the top of my head, but it's pretty beefy. The build ended up weighing around 360 grams, which, for a 5-inch freestyle frame without a GoPro or GoPro mount is pretty heavy with an air unit. But again, I'm not going to be using an action cam, so it's, at the end of the day, it's actually really light because, this whole, with a 6S 1250 Lipo, this thing comes in at what was it? I want to say it was 580, which is, for a freestyle quad, that's extremely light. Most people running a GoPro with a freestyle quad, they're pushing 700 grams is the average. So this thing ends up feeling really light and really floaty. So yeah, I got a chance to tune it today, so I'll post some flight footage at the end of the video. But just some quick notes for you guys that are considering getting this frame. Don't order this antenna mount. I did it wrong because I wanted a single antenna mount because I have this single antenna. This mount is for the AOS 3.5, and so it's not meant to fit on these standoffs, so I had to use a heat gun to get it on there. I mean, it works fine, but just so you're aware, it's not meant to fit. So like I had to use a heat gun to like get it over the standoffs. And then with the camera adapters, there is a discrepancy in Chris's video. Like if you go to Chris's YouTube channel, he has an update video on how to mount the 04 camera in this frame. And there's like a discrepancy with his instructions and the included hardware. Because like, and I'm not gonna take it apart, but there's like these two plates that you screw to the side of the camera that get sandwiched into the outside TPU prints. In the video, he says to use two M2x6 screws to screw those plates into the camera, and that's too long. They have to be M2x3. And so the kit only comes with 6 of those M2x3s, and you need a total of 8. So I took 2 of the M2x6s and cut them down to 3s with a Dremel. So just something to keep in mind, like if you're not comfortable cutting the screws because they're like super tiny and you might lose them, just plan ahead and order the M2x3s, and they have to be countersunk. And like if any of those screws, if they're not countersunk or if they're too long, then this doesn't work because it's all super tight, flush fitting. So if like the screws are protruding or anything, then it won't really bolt together and the camera won't be able to move. So yeah, I think that was the main thing. You know, not a huge deal. I just cut 2 of the screws down and it fit fine. And then the battery pad that comes with it, I tried it and then ended up ripping it off after like 1 flight because it's a rubber pad, but it's got no grip, so the lipo just slides. So this is some of that 3M like gel padding. I forgot what it's called. I've had it forever, but this stuff is great, like because it sticks to the lipo. Like you could fly the quad like gently without a strap with this stuff because it like sticks to the lipo. So yeah, I think that's all I've got for the build. Other than that, it was pretty straightforward. Just keep that in mind with the 04 adapters. And I just think this is a good frame if you're not wanting to use an action camera and you don't want anything in view. It's funny because when I started looking at frames again, I was wondering why all of the FPV frames had like CNC cages instead of just like standoffs. I thought it was really weird. But with the 04 Pro, and I guess even the 03 with how wide the field of view is, now it makes sense. Because like when I tried using it on my Hyperlight with traditional standoffs, like you could just see like the entire top of the frame. It was stupid. I mean, it wasn't stupid, but it was annoying. But yeah, guys, so that's the AOS 5 V5, and let's check out one of my tuning flights from earlier. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or complaints, leave them in the comments.